Hey everyone, here's my tips for Tears of the Kingdom, and I hope they can really help you out. I wish I had known some of these tips when I first started playing, so hopefully they can help you. Let's get right into it. So you just landed in Lookout Landing. We are in Lookout Landing. The game has just started for you. Now, the first thing you want to do is you're going to finish the first few missions. There's one over at the castle that you're going to have to go do, but as soon as you do that, we're going to come back over to this part of Lookout Landing, and you're going to talk to Pura, and this is the area you're going to want to be at. Is up here. You're going to find a way to unlock your glider, and I'm not going to spoil anything else for you, but just once you're done mission, it'll take you sort of in that direction towards the castle. Just come back here to this area, and I'll leave it at that. So another tip you want to keep in mind for tip number 2 is getting to the chasm as soon as possible. Specifically, you want to get to the chasm that Joshua is questing you to go and do. So this is Joshua over here. Okay, she's this little girl. Okay, she'll have a quest for you at the beginning, right at the beginning of the game, and she's gonna have you go over to this chasm. Okay, so here's Lookout Landing, and here's this chasm. So I would recommend going there relatively soon, after the first few quests of the game. That way, there's certain things that kind of get going for you in terms of understanding what is the chasm and all that stuff. So yeah, just a general tip for that. So here's a quick money-making trick that is taken from Breath of the Wild. It's a little bit different, just a couple of little things to keep in mind in terms of the differences between Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild. So this area is a little further than the beginning area, so it might take you a bit to get here, but you're going to be going to the same Tabantha Tundra. It's in the northwest of the map, and you're going to want to get near the Snowfield Stable. There's actually a shrine there, the Orokium Shrine, and you're going to want to make sure you have a horse and some arrows, okay? And then what you're going to do is you're going to want to go kind of follow this trail, and here's the route you're going to take. So if you watch my cursor, you're going to kind of start down this road, you're going to go towards that cave, and then you're going to work your way back around, and kind of do a circle back and around. There is something to keep in mind around this area. I don't want to ruin it for you. I hope we don't see it, but just because it's a cool discovery thing. But anyway, just keep in mind that there's something we want to stick away from in this area. Just stay away from that. Anyways, let's just go show you a quick example of this. So we got our trusty golden steed over here, and it's not the animals aren't as lucrative as they were in Breath of the Wild, but they're still quite a bit. So you want to keep an eye out for wolves like these. You're gonna jump in the air, slow-mo, and hit them in the face. And you want to get this meat as fast as possible, or it will freeze. It doesn't freeze as quickly as Breath of the Wild meat does, but I think it's pretty fast still. And the meat that you want to be aware of is this raw gourmet meat. That's the one we're looking for, okay? And it's okay to get the raw prime meat, but what you're gonna do is you're gonna go and take the raw prime meat and make 5 of them at a time and put them in the pot, and then you're gonna sell just a whole ton of meat. So you can do 5 raw gourmet meat, do as many as you can. So I'll show you what that looks like. We're gonna go back. We've got 15 right now on us, so we'll go back and make that. So you're gonna want to look out for wolves and the moose. Occasionally you'll see some bears, and that's kind of the main animals you're looking for. And you want to hit your X button when you're riding, hold right trigger, and then that's what gives you the slow motion. See, there's one right in front of us. I'll show you right now quickly. We'll do another one. So you got a bit about this closer, it'll start running. If any closer, it'll start running away. Okay, hit it in the head, go forward, and bunch of meat. So sometimes if there's another animal around you, like a wolf or a couple wolves at a time, you can, if you're really good at aiming, you can get them both, but just be careful of them freezing on you. So I'll quickly just show you what you're gonna do here. We're just gonna go up and take 5 gourmet meat, and we're just gonna 5 in our hands. We're gonna cook it. We're gonna quickly skip. We've got our full recovery meat skewer, and then we're gonna go and sell it to Mr. Beetleman over here. So once we go to him, we're gonna talk to him for a second, and then we're gonna go to our meals, and it should be this one right here. So there you go, 315 rupees for one of those meals. So we're gonna give that a sell, and that's per 5 meat. So, and I think this, let's see, the other 5 meat that you make, I think it ends up being like 140 rupees or something for the raw prime meat. So it's still pretty good. Anyways, that's it. Hope that helps. So for tip number 4, we're going to also combine it with tip number 5, which is another money-making trick for people kind of more at the beginning of the game that can't get to the Tabantha fields to make money right, that far away, because it does take you a little bit to get over there, especially if you're, ADD like me, where everything just looks fun and exciting and you want to kind of check out everything. So here, what we're going to do is this is right off near the main area. So we are in the Romani Plains. This is the lookout landing tower right here. We are just over here. Okay, we're at the Yamio Shrine, and when you spawn in right here from the shrine, when you're looking at the castle right over here, you're gonna keep an eye out for these cherry blossom trees. Okay, these are all over the map, and something special about these is that if you give them some fruit, which we are gonna do, so we're gonna give them 5 apples. Okay, let's throw it in there, and something special will happen. I may skip this area, this part, but I'll just show you anyway. So this neat thing happens. You kind of see the horse god. He comes out, or she comes out, and will mark on your map for a limited amount of time where all the caves are. The reason why caves are so important is because that leads you to a couple things. Rare items, and there's a lot of mining to do in the caves, which is great for, say it with me, money making. And yeah, so kind of 2 tricks in one. So keep an eye out for these trees, and hopefully that helps you out. So for tip number 6, we're just going to go through some of the fusing tips that I wanted to show with everyone. One of the first tips is that there are plenty of uses for different mushrooms and all sorts of things. So what we're going to do is first focus on the muddle bud. If you are overwhelmed with enemies, what you want to do is shoot a couple of them, and they are just going to start fighting each other on top of the rock. So yeah, they're going to fight, and we are going to just sort of let them fight. And it also, we also got the rock to fight for us, as you can see, and he throws off the bokoblins. So super, super rare, not rare, but like useful muddle bud vegetables. So keep that in mind. Another quick tip for you for the fusing information. So let's say at the beginning of the game, you've got some shields, you've got maybe a rusty shield or something. And those things, they break pretty quick. And if you're like me, shields can be super useful when you're using or battling enemies, especially with the combat that this game has. Sometimes you can get one-shotted pretty early in the game, depending on the area you're in. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into our inventory, and eventually you're going to start fighting these Hinox toenails when you start fighting the Hinoxes. So that's just another part of this tip, and you're going to drop one of those babies, and you're going to fuse it to your shield. Now, it actually becomes... I believe it takes at least double the amount of hits, if not more, from what I have experimented with. So you've got an extra shield that you can use, and this works for all sorts of different items. Try it out with different sort of things like a tooth. Other things to keep in mind are like the frog's fingernails. That's another thing to keep in mind. So anyway, just another quick tip for those of you that use a shield more often than not. So this next tip, we're just going to focus on a zoonite technology that maybe isn't used as commonly as we think. So what we're going to do is we're going to whip out one of these cannons. And then what we're going to do is shoot it with our arrow and grab it with our fuse and just start aiming it at some enemies. Oh, we need to work on our aim here. Oh, that one might be good. Here's this one. That one's a little bit better. And what this can really do is just, if you're, not much of a up-close fighter, you can just start chucking bombs at them. So anyway, just a fun little easy way to throw some consistent damage towards them without using a lot of your bombs. So keep that in mind. If you go to your map and we go to the sky surface and we look at, do you know those like the device dispensers that we get all of our Zoanite items from? You can actually hover over it and it'll show you what items come out of there. Now, I found this one myself, so like I didn't, this tip didn't help me, but I know a few of my friends, they were like, holy crap. They didn't realize that you could look exactly what you needed. They were just guessing. And so hopefully that helps two of you guys out. So here's just a fun one. I know that a lot of people don't use these the time bombs very often, but I've actually found a really fun use for them. So there's a couple ways you can use them. So what we're going to do is we're going to fuse it to our shield. Here, let's get out a different shield here. So we're going to fuse it to our shield. And oh, look, a group of enemies. So we're going to go over here and just, hey, what's up, guys? And we're going to jump and land on our shield and jump away. So it pushed a few of them away, and not only can you use that to kind of go into a group of enemies and just kind of you're also protected from the damage because of your shield, but you can use it as a way to get up to other areas. I personally use the the recall to do that, but yeah, another way to do that. So keep that in mind. We're gonna run away from this guy right now. So quick last tip for you guys, just a heads up, this is a small spoiler for people that like to discover areas on their own. This one is in the chasm, so if that is something you don't want, then I would avoid this if you don't like that. Spoiler. So anyway, so let's talk about our batteries. Okay, so our Zoanite battery power, some people think that you may only get that one battery, but as you can see, there's lots of slots to upgrade that. So how do you do that? Well, we're going to go to the chasm, and we're going to go to the southwest in the chasm, and you're going to find yourself at the Great Abandoned Central Mine. Once you're here, I'm not going to tell you much more about that, but once you're here, this will unlock, and there'll be this guy over here at a shop. And we've been collecting Zoanite since we've been down here, plus there's some ways to collect it up in the sky as well. And we're going to go over and we're going to collect some of these large crystallized charges, and those are for the large Zoanite, or you can get just the basic crystallized charge. So we're going to get some of them right now, and what that'll do is we'll trade 90 of our Zoanite, and we will get what exchanges into the kind of power currency. So we've got 40 of those. The exact name of those is the crystallized charge. So once we've got enough, you need 100 or more, but just for example, I'll show you. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to the sky. You saw this at the beginning of the game, but in the Great Sky Island, we're going to zoom into the very start of the area to the Nakoya Shrine, and right next to it is the Crystal Refinery. So we're going to travel to there, and we're going to see what happens. So you got to the Nakoya Shrine. We're going to run over to this dude over here, and you just have to talk to him and trade in your crystallized charges. So once you've done that, now you know exactly how to get your extra battery, and there you go. Hey everyone, thanks for watching these tips. I know some of them are super beginner friendly and maybe very obvious, but they were super helpful to me and others that I know. So thanks a ton for watching, and I hope you enjoy the game as much as I have. Take care.